Hi guys, are you frustrated that your scales aren't showing all the hard work that you've done through your diet? In this video, I'm going to show you an awesome way to weigh in so you can see your improvements in your weight loss each and every week from your diet. Today, I'm going to take you through the 4 reasons why you don't see those changes on the scales each week. And in some instances, you might only lose 100 grams, or you might not weigh any difference than the previous week before, or even gain more weight from the previous week before, even though you've scheduled it out and you should have lost about half a kilo. So we'll go through those reasons why. And of course, we'll go through a best way to weigh in so you will see those changes week to week. And as a bonus, I'll show you exactly what it takes to lose half a kilo a week and 1 kilo per week. Okay, let's get straight into it. All right, so you've stuck with your diet plan for the week. You calculate that you should have lost around about half a kilo. However, you've weighed in and there's no change whatsoever. And in some weeks, you've even gained a little bit. And that could be the difference between what you've done the day before your weigh-in between the weeks. Let me explain. So, some of the reasons that you will weigh in week to week with no changes are water retention. So your body requires water, and if it doesn't get enough water, therefore it's going to store water. So your body requires a litre per 30 kilograms of body weight you walk around in. So I'm 100 kilos, so I'm going to need around about 3 litres per day to maintain this size. And it's an extra 1 litre every hour that you train. So that's 4 litres on a training day, let's say. And so if I'm constantly doing that, there's going to be no water storage from not having enough water. The second reason your body stores water, or there's no change in the scales, is carbohydrates, guys. When you eat carbohydrates, your body stores water. Think about rice, guys. When you cook rice, it starts out this big, ends up being this big, simply because the water attaches itself and is absorbed by the carbohydrates. So by having carbs the day before your weigh-in, it's going to increase your water storage simply through having carbs in your system. And don't worry, guys, that's not fat. It's just water storage. That's all it is. And it's easy to get rid of. The next reason related to carbohydrates of why you might not see that change is simply glycogen stores, guys. So your carbohydrates convert into glycogen, which is basically sugars that are built into your liver and muscles that are ready to go for work. And that can be around about 2,000 calories. So that's around about 250 grams of sugar storage that you've got in your liver and muscles ready to go. So again, it's not fat, it's just storage. That's it. And the final one is your body is constantly trying to store energy, and it's trying to constantly burn energy right throughout the entire 24-hour period. So it's just something to be aware of when you're weighing in. Now that we've covered why your body is not changing week to week on the scales, I'll give you an example. Let's say last week you weighed in, you had plenty of carbohydrates the day before your weigh-in. So your weight on the scales will be skewed slightly because of the water storage from those carbohydrates. Again, that's not fat. This week, you might weigh in. However, the day before, you might not have any carbs on that day, and you're flushed with water. You might see a big drop of 1 kilo because you've gotten rid of those glycogen stores. You've got no carbohydrates in your system. So you're seeing the result from not only last week, but the week before that you didn't see on those previous week's scales. So it's really important that we replicate our coming days to our weigh-in before we weigh in. It's like comparing apples with apples, not apples with oranges. So let me now take you through to the nitty-gritty of it. All right, so I'll give you my example. My maintenance days are Saturdays and Sundays. So that's the days that I have carbohydrates throughout the day. And so if I weighed in on a Monday morning, I wouldn't get my weight loss result that I'm after, simply because I've got water storage from probably a little bit of alcohol at times. I've got water storage from glycogen stores. I've got water storage from carbohydrates that have consumed the day before. So what I do on a Monday, Tuesday is I replicate those days every single week. And so my main weigh-in day is on a Wednesday. And on a Wednesday is when I'm recording my weight loss results. Now, I must make a note as well. I weigh in through my fat loss phase every single day. And the reason I do that, and it's not being obsessive, I treat my weight loss like a little bit of an experiment and a project. So I know that if I have a sandwich or a little bit of carbohydrates a day before, I'm going to be half a kilo heavier than what I was that day. If I don't drink enough water for a consecutive 2 or 3 days, that's going to reflect on the scales as well, of around about half a kilo. If I have alcohol, that's not going to reflect the next day, it's going to reflect 2 days later. So I know this about my body, and believe me, we are all different. And I've had over 2,000 weight loss clients throughout my 15-year training career, and everyone's different. So it's really important that you jump on the scales every single day. So you wake up, go to the toilet, you're naked, get on the scales, and that you'll pencil it down. Okay, that's how much I am today. Why is there a change? Oh, that's right, I had carbohydrates the day before. Oh, I didn't drink enough water the day before. And it's really important to treat it like a project, so it's not demotivating. You're simply analyzing the situation. Now, because I know this about my body, what I do is Mondays and Tuesdays, I replicate those days. So I don't have any carbs on a Monday or a Tuesday. My 3 to 4 litres of water that I have on those days, I add an extra litre. So I drink 4 or 5 litres on those days, simply because I want to flush out that water storage from those carbohydrates. So when I'm talking about replicating eating as well and drinking that water, I'm eating and drinking water at pretty much the same time on those Mondays and Tuesdays. So I'm replicating the exact 2 days before every single weigh-in. And that way, I'm going to see the results that I've attained through my negative calorie diet for that week. And I've done that every single time. And if you've seen my videos before, I've lost 10 kilos in 10 weeks, 8 different ways over the last 15 years. And I do it as an experiment to do it with my clients for motivation for their weight loss phase. So by seeing that decrease each and every week of half a kilo or 1 kilo, and in my case, I do it as 1 kilo every single week, that keeps me motivated to get to the next week. And through that week, that I'm going to do the right thing to get that next 1 kilo off. Now, it's also a note, guys, if you're a female and you're watching this, you're going to have to, when you're weighing in every day, you'll also note that when your period is approaching, that's going to be an increase in water storage also. So when you do see you've done everything right and you see your weight on the scales increasing, you'll know that, hey, okay, possibly look at your schedule for your periods. It's like, okay, that's what's coming up. And that's the reason why for the additional weight on the scales. It's just water storage through your oncoming period. Now, as I promised, a little bonus, guys. How do you lose half a kilo a week, each and every week? Now, half a kilo, it translates into basically there's 7,700 calories in every 1 kilo. So you've got to burn 7,700 calories to get rid of 1 kilogram, guys. So you can do that through your diet. Bit hard to do 7,700 calories through your diet, believe me. So you could do half of it through your diet. So you're knocking off around about 3,850 calories from your diet. So you're in a calorie deficit of that amount if you're not training and you're purely doing it through your diet. Or you could do, let's say, 2,000 calories from your diet, which is, let's say, 500 calories a day, 4 days a week. The other 3 days are maintenance days. That will get you 2,000 calories. And then have a look at your activity on your pedometer. So steps, guys, steps are really important. For every 10,000 steps that you do, that's around about 350 calories. So let's say you're doing 10,000 steps 6 days a week, going off your pedometer. That's around about 2,000 calories, guys. So you're 2,000 calories from your diet, 2,000 calories from activity through the day. That's half a kilo, done each and every week. Now, add in some training on top of that. So you should be doing resistance exercise sessions. So full body resistance exercise sessions, 2 or 3 a week. And someone my size, I lose about 500 calories in each of those sessions. For someone smaller than me, let's say 80 kilos and let's say female, you're going to knock off around about 250, 300 calories in those sessions. So there's another 750 to 1,000 calories that you're burning through exercise. And that's why half a kilo a week is achievable. And a healthy weight loss, guys, is half a kilo to 1 kilo per week. No more than 1 kilo a week, because then that means you're possibly tapping into your muscle stores as well, which we do not want to do. We want to hold on to as much muscle as possible through that weight loss phase. And remember, a weight loss phase is an 8 to 12 week block. I do 10 weeks, but that's your phase. And then once you finish that phase, you're into maintenance to maintain the weight that you got to in that phase. Now, let's look at 1 kilo a week. Now, this is a little bit tougher. This is what I achieve each and every week in a weight loss phase. And it is a bit of work. So I do 3,500 calories from my diet, 3,500 calorie deficit from my diet, which works out to be, 500 calories deficit every single day. I do intermittent fasting for a couple of days though, where I'm in 1,000 calorie deficit. So I knock off 2,000 calories in 2 days. And then I taper off throughout the week. So by the end of the week, up until my maintenance days, I've lost my 3,500 calories. Now with my pedometer, I try and knock off 15,000 calories a day, 6 days a week, which is just over 500 calories a day through activity, through my steps. And that includes walking, doing housework, renovating the house, doing yard work, whatever it might be. Just keep busy to clock up those steps, guys. And 15,000 steps every day times 6 days works out to around about 3,000 calories. So I'm almost at my 1 kilo by doing that. I throw in 3 to 4 half an hour full body weight sessions, resistance sessions, which burns me 1,500 calories a week. Therefore, I'm sitting at around about 8,000 calories as a deficit each week. And that's how I get my kilo off each and every single week. Now, on the scales, I might not see a clear kilo every week. Sometimes I see 600 or 700 grams. Sometimes I see 1.1, 1.2. Sometimes I even, in the last weight cut, which I just finished, I seen 1 week there in week 5 and week 6, only lost around about 300 grams, but I made it up on the previous week. So it's not consistently the same each and every week, but on average, over let's say a 10-week period, if you're going for half a kilo a week, you should see about 5 kilos off those scales. If you're going for 1 kilo a week, you'll see 10 kilos off those scales. And some of that might be water as well, but hey, when you're looking at motivation to get through that 10 weeks, count the water as a plus. Hey, I've lost 2 kilos in water. Just count it, because you need whatever it takes to stay driven and to stay motivated to get through that 10 weeks. Because it can be a slog, guys, whether it's half a kilo or 1 kilo. But I tell you what, it's well worth it when you get to the end. One, not only do you learn new habits throughout that 10-week period, but you feel a hell of a lot better for achieving your weight loss goal at the end. And hey, life is still the same. However, you feel a lot different because you're in a body or a vessel that's a lot smaller than what it was previously. So if you want it, guys, commit to it. Never quit, because quitting is the only way you can fail. If you're in that 10 weeks and you start to struggle, pivot, change your diet, do whatever it takes to get through that 10 weeks. Change your life, guys.